It's no question. But right now, where we are, who we talking about, what we do, that was my point. You and I, we locked in. Heather, we're locked in to make a difference. One of the things that I say about that whole historical point was that there were thousands of other leaders behind them because they could have never got to where they were at, right? But when you saw that, what happens was that deterred them. When they saw what happened to them, right, that deterred them. The next wave that came behind came in, well, with the self-destruction, right? And then the wave that's coming now is we not buying it. I was born in 65, so I was in the middle of it, right? So for me, I'm not buying it. I am not afraid, right? For me, because I see, again, how it is. We're watching it. We are literally talking about, just because we talk about males, we watch the system. The system is good at practicing on a culture and then putting it on all people. That's what the system does. So the system practice crack. Behind that, here comes all those other things. The system practice opioids over here. Behind that come all these commercials on pills and everything else, right? But what the system failed to realize, because they put the male into a demographic, what they fail to realize and what they are seeking, other countries have taken what they put down and shifted their entire mindset, growth, family, because they know, whereas the haters in the system bought into death, other countries and cultures bought into family. So whereas America right now is beneath the level on education, but by design, this is why you see these people right now with the hate, and right, because they've been convinced, the majority has been convinced that they're a minority, and they took that to use that for the greed. And so now you have a deception, a disruption, and disorder being rebreeded all over again, which is going to cost the culture. Now you then turn around and say this is what God wants, which means you are offering your whole mindset on this Christianity, the whole nine. The repercussions of God comes into play. Now, everybody ain't got to agree. Everybody ain't got to believe, right? But the acceptable culture of hate has already been reaping within the culture. So now you're going to create some more reaping within their culture. Your job is to stop the reaping within your culture, to lead your families. We don't have time to participate in those things. So back to what you were saying, there were hundreds of leaders. We didn't have the pictures on them. Just like right now, as we talked about before, if she don't do what she do, you don't do what you do, I don't do what I do, that's a gap in the system for the children, for families, for boys who they already have disinvested in, from culture, system, women, children. We've already divested in the male culture. We then made him appear as he's the only monster. You see? So in he's being the only monster, he buys into being what? A monster. Because you put me on the news, you put me on everything, you tell me I'm not valuable, you give me violence, you give me everything I need to be the actual problem. The problem then becomes you can't get up, because if I'm the problem, I have the ability to destroy it all, because that's what makes up me. So I could be domestic violence. I could be a rapist. I could be a murderer. They got a place for us, of course. But then that seed, which is corrupted, becomes planted. And then it multiplies. We're looking at the multiplication. And the only way for us to fix and do and process that is that we, the leaders, raise the bar. One of the greatest things you're doing is becoming a doctor. Why? Every day I think about you becoming a doctor. Right? It's in my head every day. Dave about to be a doctor. Dave gonna be a doctor. Right? When I'm talking, yeah, we about to have a mentor that is a doctor on, right? So what does that do for me? Right? What does that do for me? It motivates me. Doesn't cause me to hate. It doesn't cause me to dislike. It motivates me. The issue is that those that go before us, they'd have doctorates and things like that, and then they frown upon you. Look at you. We call our babies, and I said this yesterday, just think about what we are doing to each other. Besides the N-word, we call our babies crack babies. We automatically narrate on their life that they're no good. Right? Within acceptable culture, we have this conversation, and you can stop me in a minute. Within this acceptable culture, right, we use abortion as a contraceptive and blame her. Wow. Why you didn't have the birth control? Oh, well, you ain't got to do it. I got $225. I got $300 on it to pay for you. Go on. Let's go on and get that. They take the abortion off the table, right? We yelling and screaming right now, but they took abortion off the table, right? So, you being young, right? What is it teaching you? Why do we have to have this? Accountability, right? Because I'm not accountable. I see this girl. I want to be with her. Right? And then I get with her. I'm raw. She gets pregnant. I'm talking to her about birth control day after. You got to reap that. We don't like the reaping of the actions that we have taken. And that acceptable culture is what has to be changed.
Indeed.